Hi, this is Vanessa with Designs by Vanessa. Today's tutorial is on a crocheted top-down beanie. So what that means is we'll start at the crown of the beanie and work our way down. For materials, you will need a ball of yarn. This is a DHG's Vintage. And it's a combination of alpaca, cotton, wool, and polyester. So very soft. And you will need a crochet hook. Okay, so this one is size I, 5.5. And you can use whatever size hook your ball of yarn recommends. So here, for example, for this Lion Brand ZZ Twist, it recommends that you use a 6mm size J hook, and most of the time it's pretty close to what you need. Okay, or you can just use whatever you feel is appropriate for your tension. These are Knitter's Pride's Dreams crochet hook. Okay, it came in a set of 8. The smallest size is 3.5, and then this is 8mm. So these are wood crochet hooks. I actually own the Tunisian interchangeable hooks. They're the same colors for these sizes, so that's kind of nice. I just did a video using these with a Tunisian lace stitch, so I'll leave a link for that if you want to check out that video. You'll need a tape measure so you can measure the crown as we're working, and if you need to mark the first stitch of your round, grab a stitch marker, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle. So I have this guide here that is available on the blog post, so if you want to click the link in the description box, you can download a copy of this. So the chart has the age, the circumference, range, and then where you would stop increasing as you're working the crown, and then this is the height from the ear to the top of the crown. Okay, so let's get started. I like to use the magic ring method, but if you don't know how to do that, I do have a tutorial for that. So I'll show you how to do it this way first. This is probably the easier way if you're a beginner. So starting with a slip knot, you want to chain 4, yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's 4 stitches. Now you want to slip stitch to the first chain. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and through the loop on your hook. Okay, so that creates a ring. Now you want to chain 2 for the first round. The chain 2 throughout the pattern does not count as a stitch. So work 12 double crochets into the center of the ring, yarn over, insert your hook into the center of the ring, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, so that's your first. This was your chain 2 that didn't count as a stitch. So you would then work a total of 12 double crochets into the center of the ring. Okay, so that's one way to start it. I recommend trying out the magic ring method. It closes the top of your crown much tighter than the method I just demonstrated. Okay, so holding your tail end on your left hand, grab your working yarn, wrap it around your fingers, and then over the tail end, and then sort of close your finger. This is just how I do it. You can find a method that works for you. So I insert my hook through this loop, and then I grab the working yarn, okay, and then I sort of keep my finger there so that it doesn't move. And then I want to chain 2. So that's the chain 2. Remember, you worked a chain 2 in the last demonstration. So that's your ring. Now you want to work 12 double crochet stitches into that ring, yarn over, right into the ring, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. So that's your first stitch, and I'm just working right over the tail, yarn over into the ring, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, that's 2. And then you want to just work a total of 12. And I'm just working right over the tail. And if you find that this ring is too big, you can tug on the tail. Okay, and it'll sort of close it up a little bit. Okay, make the ring a little bit smaller. Okay, so go ahead and work 12. I have, that's the chain 2 that doesn't count. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will work a total of 12. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I have 12 double crochet stitches. Now I'm going to just tug on the tail end. So this is the tail end, and tighten my center. So this tightens it really nicely. Okay, that's why I recommend using this method. Now you want to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. So right here, if you turn, you can see the 2 loops. Insert your hook through both loops, yarn over, draw up a loop, and then pull it through the loop on your hook. Okay, so there's your round 1. Okay, so let's start round 2. Chain 2. Again, that does not count as a stitch. So now we're going to increase until the desired size. Okay, so I'm going to make this for my 4-year-old, or almost 4. So for the 3 to 5 years, 19 to 20, and I know that his circumference is 20 inches because I've measured it before. At about 6.1 to 6.3, I want to stop increasing, and then that's just 6.5 is the height that I should get before I add my brim. Okay, so the first round is complete. Now you want to work the second round. So we're going to increase the second round by working 2 double crochet stitches in every stitch around. So you have 12. You're going to increase and get a total of 24 stitches by the end of your round. So because this does not count as a stitch, you're going to work your very first stitch right there where the chain 2 is coming out of. So yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, so again into the same stitch, work another double crochet stitch. Remember, we're working increases, so we need to work 2 stitches in every stitch around. So your next stitch is right there. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. So that's 1. Now you need to work another, yarn over into the same stitch, draw a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, go ahead and work 2 double crochet stitches in every stitch around for a total of 24 stitches. Okay, so I've worked 24 double crochets all the way around. You want to slip stitch to the first double crochet right there through both loops. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and through the loop on your hook. Okay, there's round 2. So round 3, chain 2. So now our increases are going to be 1 double crochet and increase, 1 double crochet, increase. What that means is you will work 1 double crochet and increase every other stitch. Again, the chain 2 doesn't count, so we'll work our very first double crochet in the same stitch. Okay, there's 1. Now in the second, you want to work 2. So there's 1 and 2. In the third stitch, you want to work just 1 double crochet. In the fourth stitch, you want to work an increase with 2 double crochets. And this is a standard for working a flat circle, the increases. Okay, so next one, 1 double crochet, next stitch, 2 double crochets. So repeat that all the way around, working an increase every other stitch, and you should have 36 stitches at the end of your round. Okay, so I'm at my last stitch. I just worked 1 double crochet, and the last stitch should be an increase. So 2 double crochet goes into the last stitch. Slip stitch to the first double crochet through both loops. And that's your round 3. Okay, now the chart shows you where you should stop increasing. So if you take your tape measure and you measure across, so this is 4 inches wide. If I were making a newborn size, I would stop right about there. So I would stop increases and work just 1 double crochet all the way around until I get the height that I want, which is about 4 1/4 inches. Okay, but I need to stop at about 6.1 to 6.3 inches. So I'm going to continue my increases. For the next round, I'm going to increase every 3rd stitch. So here I increased every other. So this one I want to chain 2, which doesn't count as a stitch, work double crochets in each of the next stitch. There's 1 into the next stitch, there's 2. So into the third, so every 3rd stitch you want to work an increase, working 2 double crochet stitches in that same stitch. Okay. So remember, that's your chain 2, which doesn't count, so I'll cover that up. So there's 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and an increase. And you'll continue that pattern all the way around. 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, increase. 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, increase. You should end with an increase on the last stitch, and 36 stitches total. So 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then an increase, working 2 double crochets in the same stitch. 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then an increase into the next stitch. Okay, continue that around. Okay, so my last stitch is an increase. So work 2 double crochets into the last stitch. Now slip stitch to the first double crochet. Okay, so my piece is not quite the size I need it to be yet. So it's about 5 1/4. So I'm going to work one more round of increase, and I think that should be good. So chain 2. Now I want to increase every 4th stitch. So do you see the pattern? So if you were making an adult, just make sure that you keep increasing in that pattern. So this was increase every stitch, increase every other stitch, increase every 3rd. I'm working an increase for every 4th, and then increase every 5th stitch, every 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and so forth. So if you keep going, you'll just have this big flat piece, which could be a nice rug if that's what you're going for. Okay, so into the first 3, I will just work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So that's 3. Now I need to work an increase on the 4th stitch. So work 2 double crochets into the 4th stitch. Now I want to work 3 double crochets, 1 in each of the next 3 stitches. Okay. And then an increase on the 4th stitch. Okay. So let's take a look. That's the chain 2, which doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. So work that pattern all the way around. 1, 2, 3, and increase. So 2 double crochets into every 4th stitch. 1, 2, 3, and then increase. Okay, so now I want to slip stitch to join for my 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th round. It's my 4th round of increase, but there's a total of 5 rounds. Okay, so this gives me about 6 1/4 inches. Which is perfect because I'm making the 3 to 5 years, and I want to stop increasing anywhere from 6.1 to 6.3. So a little personal note, I like to, if it ends up being a little bit larger, that's fine, because you can always grow into a beanie, but you can't make a head smaller. So this is going to be probably slightly larger, but that's completely fine for me. If you like, of course, you can always rip it out, or make sure you make your tension a little bit tighter. And if it's slightly smaller, what you can do is increase your hook size. Okay, so let's say I ended up with 5.9, and I know that if I make another round, it's going to be a lot bigger. So what I can do is just keep that in mind and crochet looser, keep my tension loose, or I can up my crochet hook to 6.0 millimeters to accommodate my tension, so that it will turn out slightly larger. Okay, so now that I have the size of my crown, I'm going to start crocheting every round without increases. Okay, so you're working just 1 double crochet in every stitch around. So chain 2, which does not count, into the same stitch, your first double crochet, and then you want to work 1 double crochet in every stitch around. So I'm at the point where I do not want to increase anymore. Remember to keep in mind that if you're working an adult size, you will need to continue to increase. So you can download the chart and follow the guide for the size that you're making. Okay, so I'm going to work 1 double crochet all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to join my round with a slip stitch to the first double crochet stitch, and by stopping the increase you can see that it's starting to curl. So now it's starting to shape the beanie. Even though it's curling this way, this is actually the right side, so the side that's facing you is the right side. This would be the wrong side, and it looks a little different, but just remember that the side that's facing you is the right side. Okay, so now for the height portion, you want to fold your circle in half. So that's the height here, and that's the crown to the middle of your ears. So there's a little bit of room for the brim. So this is how you would measure for that. Okay, so this is about 3.5 inches right now, and I want to stop at about 6.5. Okay, so I will keep crocheting just one double crochet in each stitch for a couple of more rounds, and then I will check my measurement again. Okay. Okay, so I have worked a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rounds. Okay, so when you've completed the size that you need, so it says 6.5 for ages 3 to 5, and when I measured this, it was approximately 6.5. So right there, see, so it was 6.5. Okay, so if you look at the video of my son, it is the right size that I want for him. If you don't have a head to measure or to place the beanie on, that's fine. The chart should be pretty accurate, and you can see that there's still room for a brim. Now, a little note, if you want the brim wider, okay, so this part here, then just keep in mind you may want to make this part shorter. Okay, so for this video, I'm just going to work single crochet stitches for the brim. So keep that in mind though. If you want a wider brim, then you'll need to make this shorter. Okay, and if you want a thinner brim, or you know, just a finishing round, then you'll have to make this longer. Now for the brim, I'm going to keep using the same crochet hook that I've been using for this. The reason is because I'm going to just work single crochet stitches, and I know that my single crochet stitches will be tighter, so it'll bring my brim tighter. But you can also always go down a hook size so that your brim is more snug. So you want to play with your hook size to see which one will give you the tension you need and the size you need for your brim. The recommendation for a smaller hook is just so that your brim can be tighter. Okay, so again, you can make your brim any size you want as far as the width. Also, you can use any stitch you like. Just for simplicity, I'm going to use single crochet. So you want to chain 1, working into the same stitch, I'm going to work 1 single crochet, and then into the next stitch, and every stitch around I'm going to work just 1 single crochet. Now up until this point I have not used my stitch marker, but I am going to be working in a continuous round, so I'm going to mark my first stitch right there, and then I'm going to continue to work my single crochets all the way around. Okay, so I'm back around to the beginning, and like I said, we're going to work in a continuous round. So what that means is we're not going to join our rounds. So this was the very first stitch, and what I'm going to do is work my next single crochet right into that stitch. Okay, so now you can move your stitch marker and place it on that very first stitch. So this would be your first stitch for round 2. So we're just going to continue into the next stitch, and you will work 1 single crochet in a continuous round into every stitch. Okay, and then move your marker up as you get back around, and then make it as wide as you'd like. Okay, so I have a brim that measures about 1.5, 1 3/4 inches, and I'm happy with this size. I actually put it on my son's head, and I like the way it looks and the size of the brim. So this is the stitch marker that marks the first stitch of the round. I'm going to just remove that, and I'm going to slip stitch to that very first stitch where the marker was. I'm going to cut my yarn, and I'm just going to pull that through. Okay, grab your tapestry needle. Okay, so I'm going to run this through the very next stitch, and then run it through the last stitch. Okay, and that sort of creates that same shape, the V's, makes the edge look nicer. Now you're done. You just want to weave in your ends. So just run your tapestry needle back on the inside of your beanie, and then I like to run my needle through right there, wrap it around a couple of times, hold my thumb there and pull it through, and then just weave it through once more. Okay, don't forget that you have your beginning tail to weave in. Now you can just cut this off because you sort of crocheted over it if you like. I like to just sort of run it through the stitches a few more times, and also secure it the same way I did with the other end by doing that. Okay, and then I will cut my yarn. Okay, so you've completed your beanie. So you can add a pom if you like. I'll leave a link to, I have 2 tutorials, one for yarn pom-poms, and the other is for fur, fake fur. Okay. And that's it. After all these years, I still get super excited when I complete a project. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Click the like button if you've enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for future videos.